All right, folks, we're trying it again. I'm moving to my cell phone. So just want to say hello again. Greetings, everyone. This is Robin, CEO, Executive Director of the Breaking Chains Project. Just want to come to you. We're talking tonight on suicidality. Okay, so hopefully this is a better connection, better sound. Let me know. If you all have trouble hearing me, that we like to get the kinks out of the way very early. But just want to say greetings to everyone that's going to come on board. I really appreciate all of you all for what you have been doing and how you've been contributing to the conversations. Join the conversation. I want to encourage you all to join the conversation. Such heavy topics on today. We try to save the heaviest topics for Friday so we can leave room for discussion in the live feed. So we're going to try to do a couple things different tonight. But as we give time for people to come on, we're going to try to do some things that is a little bit different tonight as we talk about suicidality. What does that mean? What does it mean to have suicidal ideations? What does it mean to have suicide, to attempt suicide? What does that mean? And these things happen and they're so prevalent among folks in the church, out of the church, in the streets. It happens to almost every individual in some form of way. And we want to talk about that tonight. We want to make room tonight to have that safe conversation. So we want to go ahead and lay some ground rules that we will definitely respect everyone's opinion, but we will not tolerate disrespect. And so I want to definitely let you all know that on tonight. So I want to say greetings. I hope that everyone is doing well. This is our Friday hot topic. We're talking about suicidality, and we're talking about how it can impact individuals. So I want to encourage you all, if you want to get this message out, to share this. I'm going to give you all time to catch up, to get on board. I know we had a video going and it actually went down. Y'all got to pray for us with these technical issues. So we're trying to bring this message out here, and we're definitely going to push through the trenches to get it out. Definitely thankful for all of you all who have shared today, who have been very vulnerable. I want you to know that your story empowers so many. There are people who come into my inbox that don't comment on what is going on, but they comment and they say how much they have been blessed by what they've read by other people's experiences. So I definitely appreciate you all for sharing. Tonight we're going to be talking about suicidality. Okay, so I want to check in with everybody. How's everybody doing? Talk to me a little bit. I like to engage. This is an engagement video, so I'm definitely looking for you all to talk to me as I talk to you. I'm gonna start the conversation. Hi, Shadea. I hope I said that correctly. If I didn't, please charge it to my head and not my heart. Definitely. I want to see who's watching. Say it. Give me a quick shout. Say hey. Tell me how you're feeling today. Hi, Tasha. It's been a very long day for some people, but I'm so happy to be alive and to be sharing this because this message has to get out. So if you are watching this and you want other people to hear this message, I encourage you to share. We have about 8 viewers right now, and I'm believing that by the end of May, we'll be up to 30 or 40. Why? Because we don't despise small beginnings. We're very excited to even have 7 folks watching or 8 people watching. So stay tuned. Share the video if you would like other people to watch. It's so very important that we get this conversation popping. Okay, so we're going to start. I'm going to kind of set the scene while everybody is coming on board. I'm going to kind of set the scene, and I'm going to put you in a place for folks who may not understand what it's like to live with suicidal thoughts. I want to kind of set a scene and talk about that for just a few moments, okay? How you doing, Dre? Weekend off? You better enjoy. I'm gonna ask tomorrow what y'all doing to take care of you all, what you're doing to take care of yourselves. I want you all to comment that you're doing something amazing to take care of yourself. Jennifer, we need you. I need you. You know, I am very appreciative. You all give me strength. Y'all have no idea to be in this place and have this vision. It is so very important. Sis, I love you so very much. I love you so very much. Tiffany, you have just been a blessing to me in this season. I'm so very grateful for you. I am very excited about where this movement is going. This is the Breaking Chains Project. This is a powerful movement, and we want to get this word out to everyone that is willing to hear that. Guess what? Suicidal ideations exist. There are people who walk around in very high business positions who deal with suicidal thoughts, and these things happen to so many people. And I'm gonna let you know how it works. So I'm gonna set the scene a little bit, and then I'm going to kind of talk about what happens in our mind. Okay, so give me a few moments. All right, so let's imagine you're having a good day. Okay? You're having a good day. And all of a sudden, something changes. That could be a lost job. You get frustrated about something. You get irritated. You become angry. There's an unexpected problem that comes into your life. There's a loved one that dies. There's some feelings of helplessness and hopelessness. You may be dealing with abuse in a relationship. You may just simply feel empty. Feel like you're just an empty vessel. You may have church hurt. You may have some people who have done some things to hurt you. You may have experienced an illness, an unexpected illness. Somebody may have been diagnosed with cancer and don't know what to do. Somebody may be in school and they have a failed grade, and that all of a sudden triggers some things. And somebody may go through a rejection, a bad rumor, a lost relationship, the feeling of depression, a job concern, a trigger from the past. And somebody may be struggling with identity issues, just to name a few. Right? And as we talk about these things, you're having a good day, and one of these things come up for you in a given day. And all of a sudden, when that trigger, when that event happens, you begin to think, I'm not worthy. I'm better off dead. No one loves me. No one would even miss me. You're not good. We begin to tell ourselves we're not good at anything, that no one wants you, that we were born to be alone. We were born alone and we will die alone. We begin to tell ourselves that we're not smart. We're not lovable. We're not enough. We begin to tell ourselves these messages. And I don't know if anybody's on this video right now that has dealt with suicidal thoughts, but it clouds up your mind right here. It clouds your mind. And all of these thoughts, no one cares anyway. All of these things. I'm better off taking this bottle of pill. I'm better off killing myself. I'm better off leaving this world because I'm better. I feel like life would be better if I wasn't in it. Has there been anyone who ever dealt with that? Whatever the activating event happened, there's people who deal with these thoughts on a regular basis, and it's almost like there's no escape from it. Most people feel like that the walls are closing in. There are no options. There are no solutions. There is nothing out there that can help release the tension that's happening in your mind. And I want to let you know that that is the grounding space for suicidal thoughts. That is the grounding space for suicidal attempts. That is the grounding space for people who would rather live away, or rather not live and be away from everyone. Those are the emerging moments where suicidal thoughts come in, and it can happen to anyone. No one is exempt from it. And tonight we're going to talk about what is suicidality. How can it impact us? We're going to talk about how we can heal from it, the support that we need, how to move forward, how to overcome. We're going to talk about these things because there's not enough people talking about it. And in our culture, we have taught that if we just go and talk to God, and if we just pray, and if we just say, you know what, God, everything is going to be all right. I'm just going to believe you. We're not dealing with any of the hurt that's inside of our hearts. We're not dealing with the thoughts in our mind. We're asking God to take it away. And that's not bad. But we're not doing the physical work that it takes to deal with the hurt and the pain and the stuff that's harbored in our hearts and harbored in our minds for so long. So tonight, we're going to talk about that. And we asked the question on today. We asked the question, what are some of the thoughts that people feel when they are having their suicidal moments, right? And some people said, I feel like I'm hopeless. I feel like I'm helpless. I feel like I'm not worthy. I feel like I'm better off dead. And all of those thoughts that we just talked about, they harbor in our minds. And they take over our logical thinking. And I want to talk about that for a minute. For some of you all who may even be dealing with that right now, there's this thing called automatic thoughts. Now, I'm going to get into the psychology world for you for just a minute, okay? And folks who are in the field, I know you're going to understand what this is. An automatic thought is the first thought that comes to your mind. The first thought that comes to your mind when something unexpected happens. Let's use for an example. You go to work tomorrow and they tell you that you don't need to be there anymore. Well, the job is letting you go. You need to go. What is the first thought that comes to your mind? Is the first thought, I'm a failure? Is the first thought, I'm a loser? Is the first thought, I knew that I wasn't going to get this job or have this job for long anyway? Or is your first thought something else? And most folks who deal with suicidal ideations, most folks who deal with wanting to commit suicide, their first thought is something negative. Their first thought is, I knew I was a failure. And this is just another example of why mama called me a failure a long time ago. And we're harboring on to things that we should have let go a long time ago, but we didn't have the space to let it go. Some of us have suicidal ideation. Some of us have suicidal thoughts because of something that happened to us in childhood. And a few weeks ago, we talked about childhood trauma and how it can mentally impact us. And let me tell you how powerful thoughts are. I'm teaching you for a few minutes, and I want to give people time to share as well. But I want to tell you how automatic thoughts work and how they function here. When we have a thought here, most of the time when we're thinking things, we don't ever speak it out. We think it and we just let it stay there. And we say, okay, Lord, take that thought away, and we try to get rid of it. We hardly ever talk about the thoughts that we have. And that's where the problem comes in. Because when we have all of these thoughts of worthlessness, these thoughts of helplessness, these thoughts of you're never going to be good at anything. When we have these thoughts in our mind and we don't talk about it, it eventually gets to our heart. And by the time it gets to our heart, it's now a formed belief. We now begin to believe our own negative thoughts. Are y'all with me? Does this make sense? I want to make sure that I'm not losing you, because if I'm losing you, I want to say it in a different way. But sometimes when we're dealing with suicidal ideations, the thoughts in our minds overtake our logic and they enter into our hearts and they become a solid belief. So we begin to believe that we're not worthy. We begin to believe that we're nothing. We begin to believe that we're low. We begin to believe that no one will ever love us. We begin to believe that no one will ever have any type of relationship with us. We begin to believe that it's better to isolate ourselves. And when we internalize that message, that's when it becomes powerful. That's when it becomes powerful. So suicidality is simply wrestling with thoughts of worthlessness, helplessness, hopelessness that could want people, when they deal with suicidal thoughts, it's bringing a permanent end to a temporary situation. Are y'all with? Does that make sense? I don't want to talk at you. I want to talk with you. I want folks to engage with me, talk to me. We are literally, and I say we because I've wrestled in seasons in my life. I've wrestled with feeling worthlessness, with feeling not enough. In this place where I am, I've wrestled with not being all that I should be. And if I allow those thoughts to overtake me, then I would begin to believe that I'm better off dead. I would begin to believe that life is better if I'm not around. Jennifer says, I isolate myself because I don't want to show my transparency. Yes. And I'm so happy that you said that, because we often, when we feel, look at people. When you may be a manager on your job. You can't show nobody that you got a weakness. You can't show nobody that you suicidal. You can't show anybody that you ready to give up when you leave this job. So what do? As a culture, as a community, we begin to hide ourselves. We put blankets over ourselves. Imagine right now that I'm putting a blanket over me. You see my silhouette, but you can't see me. In other words, what I'm feeling is still there. I'm just hiding it from you. And so we begin to punish ourselves. It's almost like self-sabotage. We're covering ourselves. We're covering ourselves with layers and layers and layers and layers and layers of stuff. We're covering ourselves, and we're not allowing ourselves to heal because we're too ashamed to say, I have depression and I feel like I want to kill myself. I feel like I don't want to live in this world anymore. We're too ashamed to say that. But tonight, we want to set an atmosphere where people can say these things and say, you know what? Whew, I felt that, y'all. I am powerful. I am worthy. Tonight, by the end of this call, by the end of this live, I want to challenge your stinking thinking. I want to challenge your negative thinking. And I'm going to give you a task tonight to for every negative thought that you have, I want you to write down 3 positive thoughts. You want to know why? Because the only way that you can attack a negative thought is to overcome it with some type of positivity. This is how you overcome. Yes, young T. Hall, we put a mask on to cover the real you. Lashana says, I have tried to commit suicide 3 times and God has me still here. And what you're saying is exactly the way I felt. Yes, it is exactly the way I felt. This is Elder Robin. Okay. I'm not just Counselor Robin. I'm not just an emergent therapist. I am a leader in the Lord's church. And I've dealt with this. And it's powerful. And what we do when we go through the depression, when we go through the low moments, we'll begin to filter out ways that we can deal with it. We begin to overeat. We begin to smoke weed. We begin to smoke crack. We begin to have promiscuous sex. We begin to do things to try to mend the hurt. And the reality of it is that the reason why the suicidal thoughts don't go away is because we're not talking about it. Remember what I said, when you're harboring your thoughts in your mind, it penetrates into your heart and it becomes a belief. You begin to believe exactly what you were thinking all the while. And I don't know about you. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you all to engage with me for a minute. Okay. I have some witnesses out there. I see some hands. Have you ever thought something in your head and then said it out loud and you be like, wait, that don't sound right. Has anybody ever done that? Has anybody ever done that? Let me know. I need to know if I'm the only one. And that's okay. If I'm the only one, I'm still going to talk about it. Has there ever been anyone, and Eve, I'm going to get to that comment in just a second. Has there ever been anyone who's been thinking something? You've been thinking something, and it probably wasn't a thought you should have been thinking, and you say it out loud. You mess around and say it out loud, and you be like, wait a minute. Now, wait. That don't even sound right, right? There's people who say that. And the reason why it doesn't sound right, because you know logically, what you're thinking is wrong. You know it's not true. But when you allow it to fester, that's when it becomes powerful. Jennifer says, my words are manifested in my actions. Eve, I want to get back to your comment. You said we need to stop blowing people off, although not intentionally, just by saying, oh, just pray about it. We talked about that. Just pray about it. Yeah, it feels good saying that, but we need to try to lead people. Who trust us. I lost the comment. To lead people who trust us to talk about their depression to professional help. Absolutely. I agree. And some of us turn down to professional help. And I'll tell you why, because the stigma is when you go, the first time I ever went to counseling, the first thing I ever said to my therapist was, I need you to know I'm not crazy. And you know what my therapist said to me? She said, I'm not crazy either. I have a therapist. We all have to get to a point when we realize and we acknowledge that we need help. We need help. It's okay to say, you know what? I don't got it. I don't have it today. I don't have it. I feel like if I make another step and another bad thing happens to me, I'm going to hurt myself. It's okay to acknowledge. And I think that putting that into safe spaces is so very important. One of the things that the Break and Change Project believes, and I know that we're going to have our base location in Danville, Virginia, but we're going to travel. I want you to know that we are traveling. We are going to travel this year. If your city wants us to speak, we're coming. Okay, I'm going to let you all know. Even though our main location is going to be in Virginia, we are going to travel and teach, and we're going to have seminars. And one of the things we believe in is group therapy, not just single therapy, one-on-one therapy, group therapy. The questions that I ask you all on a regular basis is to get you all to interact with other people, to hear their stories, and to know that you're not alone. Because guess what? Those who deal with suicidal ideations feel like they're alone. And if we can get you out of the thought of feeling like you're alone, you now have already overcome your problem, or the first part of your problem. Does that make sense to everyone? I'm going to go back and make sure I didn't miss any comments. My therapist became, okay, Jennifer, your therapist became your accountability partner. Awesome. Young T. Hall says, I told them it does not work because I still feel the same way. And Young T. Hall, I want to say something to that. You said that earlier, and I told you were on my mind. And I tell you why, because oftentimes we would just settle for whatever therapist is available for us. And we don't shop around. You know how we shop around for the brand new shoes that we want? We shop around for the brand new shirt. You know, we shop around for things that we like. We have to also shop around for service providers. We need to shop around for therapists, and we need to shop around for people who we're going to trust with our stories. And so I'm not knocking you saying that you still feel the same. I just want you to know that there are other options. I want you to know that we over here at the Break and Change Project, we offer life coaching classes. I'm advertising that for a minute. We offer life coaching classes, and it's a very, very, very small fee. Because I don't know if anybody has ever paid for therapy. It's very expensive. It can be $50 to $90 to $120 an hour. If you go to New York, it's going to be $100 and some an hour to see a therapist, but we offer life coaching classes for very cheap. So if you want to take the steps, you're more than welcome. There's services available for you. I want you to know that. I'm talking to you, you, Young T Hall. Okay. Eve says, I think that a therapist is just as important as your personal yes, as your OBGYN, as a regular doctor. It's so very important. Now, I want to talk about something right quick. Excuse me. I want to talk about something, right? Because a lot of people said that earlier, what helps with depression, what helps with suicidal ideations is medication. Now, I'm not going to knock medication, because as I become a therapist, I will have the ability to write out diagnoses and write out medications for folks and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm not knocking medication. But I will say, if you ever listen to a commercial on the TV, when you're watching TV and you watch like the Zoloft commercial or whatever pill or whatever they're offering online, it may be a pill. I want you to listen to the side effects. We often miss that some of the side effects of medications that we take lead to suicidal thoughts, sometimes it says even death. And we're putting these things in our bodies, and we're making our bodies toxic. And we're realizing that some of the things that we're responding to is not even our own logic. It's not even us. It's the medications that we're putting into our bodies. So I'm not saying stop your medication. Don't ever say that I said that. I did not say that. I want you to know that it's still very important that you know the side effects of the medications that you take, because that's so very important. Okay. The side effects are very ridiculous. And I listen, I need y'all to share this message, because there should be more people watching this video right now. Why? Because this is very deep and it's very, 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 very important. Somebody shared on the page today, and if you ever read through the comments, you'll see it. Somebody said, I lost my brother. I lost my family member because of the medication that my brother was on. It created suicidal thoughts and he killed himself. Yes, Dre, side effects are sometimes worse than, but I ignored it. I'm going to call them back, but I definitely want to deal with these comments. It says, crash the chatterbox, the negative thoughts and the lies in our minds that have taken over you. And my aunt says she's reading this book by Pastor Steve Furtick, and I'm so happy about that. It is definitely true. We have to crash. We have to learn how to channel the automatic thoughts in our mind. When something tragic happens, when something negative happens, your first thought should not be, I'm worthless. Your first thought should be, I can make it through this. If I survived that back there, I can make it through this. And today I'm going to challenge you. By the end of this video, I'm going to challenge you all on how to get to that place. Okay. Good evening, Shelly. Good evening. As people build back up, I apologize. I got a call and it kind of messed up the connection. I definitely want you all to be engaged. Yes, Young T. Thank you for your testimony. Zoloft makes you want to hurt yourself even more. I used to take it. Good night, Stacy. I guess you're maybe leaving. It's okay. Good night. Eve Dallas said, you're right about the prescription side effects, because even meds help people stop smoking can lead to suicidal thoughts. Yes. And it doesn't have to be for depression per se. You don't have to be taking medication for depression for it to lead to suicidal thoughts. It could be like Eve said, it could be for a patch for smoking or something like that. So we definitely want to bring that into the light and talk about these things. All right. I want folks to know that suicide is real. There were many people who shared in the discussions today how many folks and friends and family members and people that were close to them that they lost. It's real. And if you have dealt with suicidal ideations, if you have even dealt with suicidal attempts, somebody said in the comments that they had dealt with suicidal attempts. I want you to know that, first of all, I'm grateful that you're here to even watch this video, to share this video. I'm grateful that you're here to even be a part of this segment. Why? Because you were going through some stuff, right? That hurt you, that may have put you in a place where you felt like you were boxed in and the only way out was death, and you lived through your experience. So now you can share your words to help other people. That's very powerful. And I want you to know that we're very appreciative of those who are on this call, who are sharing. And I want to do something different. Okay. I want to know if there's someone, I'm going to try it. This may not work. But I want to know if there's someone willing to talk about their experience for maybe 5 minutes. I have a second phone. Don't judge me. It's a flip phone. But I have a second phone that I would love to call someone on and be able to hear your story. We'll put you on speakerphone and talk about it, because I think that these things are very, very, very important. So if there's somebody that wants to talk about their story, please let me know. And we'll try to move into that. But in the meantime, I want to go back to some comments. Shelly says the pharmaceutical companies create these problems. Medication is one thing, helps for one thing, it has side effects. Absolutely. There's so many different side effects that are out there. Young T. Hall said, and I thank you for sharing this. I'm telling you, I've been praying for you today. I want you to know I've been praying. You have been in my spirit. I just want you to know that, Young T. Hall. And Young T. Hall says, when my grandmother died, that's when I wanted to give up on life. So the key, and I'm happy that you said that, because it leads to my next point. The key to overcoming suicidal ideation, the key to overcoming suicidality, is to understand what the root of the problem is. And so often, we talk about the symptoms of an issue. We talk about the depression. We talk about the anxiety. We talk about this. We talk about the stress. We talk about the symptoms, but we never really deal with the core of the problem. So there are people who want to kill themselves over something that happened when they were 8 years old. There are people who don't want to make it because of something that happened 10 years ago. And we now have to get to a place where we're willing to deal. I've been saying this all day, and I'm going to keep saying it. We have to deal with the inner work. We have to deal with what's happening in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies, in our soul. We have to deal with the inner work. Now, I'm going to kind of bring a joke in, because I know this is a heavy conversation. I know that people have to check in, check out. This is very heavy, so I don't expect 1,000 people to be on, but I also want you all to catch this. If you have to listen to it in segments, log out, that's okay. Come back and listen to another part. I want you to listen to it, because as you hear it and as you allow it to enter your spirit, as you allow it to enter into your core, then you will be able to overcome some of the things that have been challenging you for years. I want to let you know that I'm a witness to this, okay? I'm a witness to this. I'm not just talking about what I read in a book, what I read in an article. I'm talking about what I have lived, okay? My name is Robin Beck, and I have been in therapy. I have a therapist, and I absolutely love her. I love her. And I want you to know that therapy is not a bad thing. But what it does is it gives you internal insight as to what the problem is. Now, there may be some people out there. Look, I'm going to talk about myself, because that's the only person I know I can talk about for sure and be accurate. I want to lose weight, right? I want to lose weight. But I can't lose weight if I'm sitting at home eating ho-hos and having a bag of chips every night with 6 burgers, okay? And I know that I'm bringing in some light stuff because this is a heavy topic. But the key is that we want to heal. But in order for us to heal, we've got to do something, right? And that's something, we got to do something beyond just, let's just pray and let's just let it go. I love God. I'm not dismissing God. I know that I love him. But I want us to know that it is so very important that we have to do an inner work. We have to get to the core of what caused those thoughts. So oftentimes when I'm counseling people under the organization that I work for right now, when I counsel people, I often talk about childhood. Why? Because the many people who deal with suicidal ideations, who deal with abuse, who deal with different things, anxiety, post-traumatic stress syndrome, depression, all of the things that can inflict us, they usually have stuff rooted in childhood. And if we're not dealing with the core of the problem, we're just going to be treating the symptoms for the rest of our lives. I want you to know, all folks that are watching this right now, you are worthy. You are valuable. You are loved. You are enough. You are amazing. You are awesome. When you look in the mirror, you are beautiful. I don't even know who's watching, but I want to let you know, I want to speak that into your spirit. I want to speak that into your hearing. Why? Because the messages in our minds tell us the complete opposite, but it's time out for us to hold it in. We now have to move it out. We now have to talk about it. Like, no, I'm not worthless. I am worthy. You have to challenge. Yes, sis, we got to get to the root of the issue. If not, then our problems will continue to handle us. Our problems will continue to handle us, and we will find ourselves in a rut. We will find ourselves to the point of no end. We will find ourselves to the point where we want to just die. We will find ourselves to the point where we just going to kill us. Or we're going to kill ourselves, and we just going to get rid of ourselves because we're better off. We have to deal with the core of the problem. We can no longer continue to talk about how everything else is going to happen in our lives, and we're not dealing with the core. We are killing ourselves every day. I don't care that you've been diagnosed with cancer. I don't care that you lost your job. I don't care. I care about it, but I'm making a point. I don't care that you have this relationship that ended and it was horrible. I don't care that all of those things happen. Guess what? Tragedies are a commonplace. They're going to always happen in our lives. There's going to always be some loss in our lives. But what happens the most is how we respond to it. Did you realize? And there's a quote that says 90% of 90% of our lives is what happens. No, 90% of our lives is how we respond to the 10% of what happens to us. Your response to life is so very important. Listen. I want you to know that this is real. This is real. We having some hardcore, hard body conversations. Why? Because people need to heal. I'm gonna tell you what the Break and Change Project believes, right? Because I'm coming to you on behalf of the Break and Change Project. We believe in heal, happiness, and wholeness. That's our 3 core values: healing, happiness, and wholeness. And the only way, and I want to give people some insight. And I'm gonna go back to the comments. I promise. I want to give people some insight right now. In order to heal, all right. For folks who like to plant, has anybody ever planted a tree or planted a seed? Has anybody ever physically planted a seed in some soil? Come on, I want you to talk back to me. Say yes or something. Like, tell me yes. Have you ever planted a seed? The question is, have you ever planted a seed into some soil? Has anybody ever planted seeds? Yes. Okay, we got 1 yes. All right, good. 2 yeses. All right, we good. 3 yeses. There we go. People, okay, so in order to plant a seed, what is the first thing you have to do? You have to open up the ground. You can't just plant the seed on top of the grass. You got to open up the ground. Hear me what I'm saying, not just in the natural realm, but in the spirit. When you are planting a seed, you have to open the ground up in order to plant that seed. So what happened with many of us is that we want to plant new seeds, but we refuse to open ourselves up. That's a good teaching. We want to plant seeds. We want to heal. We want to grow. We want to develop. We want to move in a greater way. We want to do all of these great things. And that's great. I love the vision. I love it. But we got to open ourselves up. This is time out for shielding ourselves in. Oh, well, I can't talk about what I'm dealing with. No, you can talk about what you're dealing with in a safe place. And you can be validated in your experience. You can be validated and you can grow in what it is that's dealing and what it is that you're dealing with. You can grow in that. But you got to open up, because if you don't plant a fresh seed, as a matter of fact, in order to plant a fresh seed, you got to uproot the old one. Right? I don't like to garden, but I'm sure Tiffany got it too, because we had that garden in the backyard on our street back at home, in my home. So we had a huge garden. I hated it. I absolutely could not deal with it. But we had to learn, and I thank God that I had that experience of learning how to break open the ground, pull everything up from the root. Have you ever had to pull up an old plant? You got to pull that thing up from the root. Otherwise, it's going to continue to grow. So some of the dilemmas and stuff that we're dealing with in our lives is products of us never pulling it up from the root. Whew. That thing hurt. That thing is in my spirit. I just want y'all to know. That thing is in my spirit. My brother's gonna walk in a minute. So I told him when he comes in to just go to the back room and he gonna wave. Okay, there he go. Just wave at the people and go on to the back room. My brother just walked in, so I'm gonna give y'all some time to just resonate on what we just talked about. Okay. Okay. I love you, brother.
I love you too, baby.
That's my brother, y'all. So I want y'all to know, okay? And I'm gonna go back to the comments because this is good. I want to try to keep this in an hour. Let me check my battery level. I want to try to keep this within the hour, but I definitely recognize that this is something that people need to hear on tonight. Okay, this is something that we need to hear. So I'm gonna go back to some of the comments. Okay, but think about that thing. Every time you wanna grow, every time you wanna move into a greater place, think about how you gotta open yourself up and uproot the garbage. Uproot the abuse, uproot the sexual assault, uproot the childhood trauma, uproot what people have done to you, uproot what people have said about you, uproot it, because it no longer has a place in a healed vessel. And we on the Break the Chains Project, I want y'all to know, we, as far as the Break the Chains Project, we believe in healing, happiness, and wholeness. And we want to see you healed, happy, and whole. And as we release we're working on our vision and mission statement right now. As we release it onto our website, which will be available very soon, I believe it will be available very soon. As we release that, I want you all to read what healing, happiness, and wholeness means. Because in order for us to really get into healing, happiness, and wholeness, we have to understand what it means. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to some comments. Okay, because I want to make sure you all know that I'm here. Young T Hall. When my grandmother died, I was starting to live with my uncle, and he raped me, on and on, until I went to live with my aunt and mother. Was never around. I always felt alone. So Young T Hall, first of all, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for all the people who have been encouraging. I've been watching the comments. I was just talking, and I didn't want to stop that flow because I felt that needed to come out. But one of the things I want you to know, Young T Hall, is that even though something so low, something so painful, something so hurtful, something so isolating happen to you, that you are still worthy, you are still beautiful, you are still lovable, you are still, I'm looking at you, okay? I want you to look at me in this camera. I want to speak to you right now. You are still amazing. I want you to know that you are still amazing. And I don't want anyone to ever take that away from you. And the only person that can start speaking that message into your own hearing is you. When you get up in the morning and you feel horrible about what happened to you, you've already gotten out now. You've pulled up the root. You just pulled up the root. As you have pulled up the root, every morning you get up, you look in the mirror. I want to challenge you. You tell yourself you're beautiful. I am beautiful. I am worthy of love. And as you begin to tell yourself, you will be amazed at how your automatic thoughts will change from negative to positive. I've lived this thing. I'm not just talking about what something I think. I'm talking about something that I have lived. Okay? Shelly says, a relationship ended years ago and I got so depressed I thought about it. Relationships, we talked about that earlier as we were setting the tone. These things happen in relationships, death, abuse, assaults, all types of things that happen, violence, negative words from our families, negative words from the church. We miss we miss so much because we've allowed what happened to us to completely distract us from where we're going. I don't know about anybody out there, but the folks that absolutely, I don't know who just said take the power back, but definitely take the power back. You have to take the power back. You have to take the power back and say, you know what? You won't have no power over me no more. I am still a warrior. I survived it because I know now that I'm worthy. Shelly, feel, deal, and heal. I needed this message. I'm so thankful that you are on this video tonight, Shelly. I really appreciate you, and I know that you're having concerns with weight issues. Let me tell you something. We have such a big vision at the Break the Chains Project. We want to start a fitness class. We're gonna go live with it. We're gonna do a fitness class, and ain't gonna be all this extra stuff. We're gonna be doing simple things like jumping jacks, simple things like 5 sets of sit-ups. We're gonna be doing things. Why? Because we need to be healed, happy, and whole in our natural man, in our physical man, in our emotional man, in our mental man, in our economic man, in our financial man. We need to be healed, happy, and whole in every capacity. So I appreciate you for watching this live tonight. And it was meant for you to be on here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Absolutely. LaShonda, my dad told me in the hospital that nothing is so bad today that tomorrow doesn't matter. Nothing is so bad today. Nothing is so horrible today. Nothing is so pointless today that tomorrow doesn't matter. There is always tomorrow. And some of us try to take on so much on a regular basis that we drain ourselves out of our today. So we don't even look to tomorrow. And so today I want to challenge you. I want to challenge you to give yourself time to heal, to deal with the problem. And you're going to cry. You're going to be angry. You're going to go through the whole grieving process. You're going to go through the denial. You're going to go through all of it. But at the end of it, you're going to come out with power. At the end of it, you're going to come out saying, you know what? I'm too amazing to die. Have you ever popped your, back in the day they used to say pop your collar, pop your collar. You have to tell yourself, I am too amazing to not live through this. I am too amazing to die. I am too amazing to want to give up. I'm too amazing for that. Shelly says, I think I'm depressed, but not suicidal. Out of loneliness, I eat. Yes, loneliness can. And think about it. When you look at yourself in the mirror and you're not happy with your image, how does that message internalize in your head? Oh my God, I'm big. I'm not beautiful. How many times do we negatively talk to ourselves because of what it is that has happened to us? We want to reverse that tonight. Okay. I appreciate all of those who are encouraging folks. This is what this segment is for. This segment isn't for us to just sit around and just come up with some stuff and just have a conversation because we have nothing else to do with our time. But it's to encourage one another to say, you know what? We can make it through this. I survived this. I wanted to die. I wanted to give up. I wanted to just say, forget it all. And I probably won't go say forget. I probably was going to use the other F word. But at the end of the day, I had to heal from what it was that was trying to take my power and tell myself I'm worthy of the love that I give myself, because that's where it starts. And so many of us look for relationships to give us the love that we want. So many of us look for relationships. We look for other people to give us the things that we want. And we find ourselves empty. We find ourselves depleted. We find ourselves even worse. And we find ourselves even in more isolation. Why? Because we're not being able to be fulfilled by other outside sources. We have to learn how to bring ourselves into the place and say, you know what? No, I need to love myself. I need to work on what it means to love myself. Y'all, I'm not trying to preach. Y'all talking about I'm preaching. I'm not trying to preach. Y'all got me laughing. I ain't trying to preach. I really just want to send this message. And we're talking about suicidality, right? We're talking about it, but we're now getting to the core of the problem. See, a lot of people was asking, oh, Robin, what do you do? How do you deal with it? How do you do this? I don't deal with it. You want to know why? Because I'm healed from it. I don't have to deal with something I'm healed from. And that's what we want to get you to. I don't care. All 12 people that are watching, if you're wrestling with something, we don't want you to just deal with it. We're tired of putting Band-Aids on our scars. It's time now to put some Neosporin and some cocoa butter on there to get it to go away. It's time now to heal. And we got to stop dealing. Oh, well, I'm just going to talk to the Lord. And the old church mother said, take your burdens to the Lord and leave it there. Yes. But what happens when you take your burdens to the Lord and you don't know how to leave it there? We don't tell you how to do that. Today, I'm encouraging you to whatever it is that you're holding on to whatever it is that hurts you. Young T. Hall, you have literally positioned yourself for a breakthrough tonight. Whatever it is that you are dealing, whatever it is that has caused you, I want to challenge you. Whatever it is that causes you to have the suicidal thoughts, I don't want you to just think about the thoughts that you have. I want to know, when did you start having those thoughts and what caused those thoughts to happen? You have to get to the core of what it is that's causing this. Why? Because when you get to the core of what's causing it, you can now overcome it. Amen. So, like I said, people saying they want to meet me. Hi, I'm in Jersey right now, but let me tell you this. We are really believing God for this movement of the Breaking Chains Project. Listen to the name, Breaking Chains Project. Okay, we believe in people being broken. And when we think about broken, we think about, oh, broken, somebody's got a broken heart. No, we're talking about people being open enough to heal. In order to, let me give you a synopsis. I tell my clients this all the time. When they come in and they're crying and they're very stressed out and they're frustrated. And I say, okay, so right now your life is like a broken plate. Can you imagine don't go in your kitchen, but can you imagine going into your kitchen and dropping a plate on the floor? It's broken. But you know what's so powerful about that plate that's broken? It's still a plate. It's still a plate. It's just broken at that moment. And the only thing that can happen when you're broken is a healing. So the only way that that plate can be useful again is if you glue the pieces together. Does this make sense? I like to teach using illustrations. I don't like to just talk at people. I want to give you illustrations, right? The only way that you can come back together is being broken first. It's not even an option anymore. It's a requirement. If you want to heal, if you want to get through these suicidal thoughts, if you want to get through the overcoming your fears and overcoming the depression and overcoming the PTSD and overcoming the abuse, overcoming the trauma, overcoming everything else that you had to face, you've got to be willing to be broken. That means you've got to open up yourself in a safe place. I keep saying it, in a safe place. And to say, you know what? I need healing. So like I said, the Break and Chase Project believes in our vision and we are willing to travel. If you have a church and you talk to your pastor and your pastor wants to teach a seminar, we have training materials. I have been working very hard. In between the posts on Facebook, I've been working very hard to create training materials so that we can train and teach people on how to be broken in a healthy way. Because brokenness in a healthy way leads only to healing. So you tell me, you let me know where y'all want me to come and we'll travel. Okay, I want you to know that. Okay, the sky is the limit. All right. I'm just trying to catch up on the comments. Okay. Unscripted said, I just had the same conversation today with my best friend.com. I say that too. But it was happy tears, right? These are the healing moments when you can take a message like this and apply it to your life and you can transform into being a new being. You now have allowed brokenness to enter into your life in a healthy way. So once you allow that brokenness to hit, once you deal with the root of the problem, once you deal with the core of the issue, you're now in a place where you can now heal. You're now in a place where you can say, you know what? I'm no longer dealing with what's happening. I'm healing from what's happening. Y'all need to, that's a tweetable comment. I don't want to just deal. I want to heal. Oh, that's the tweetable comment. I don't have Twitter yet, but when I do, I'm going to tweet that. Okay. Y'all, somebody tweet that and inbox me so I don't forget what I said. Okay. But yes, I want to go down. My sister says, looking for love in all the wrong places. So often we would allow ourselves to open up to other people. We want to give everyone else, all of us, and we're broken. We're just broken. We just broken. And the only thing we're doing is just breaking ourselves. And this is an unhealthy broken. There's a difference between a brokenness and a healthy way and a brokenness in an unhealthy way. Amen. Amen. I thank God for the deliverance, sis. I thank God. I am delivered. I thank God that the last thing that comes to my mind, even in the most horrible circumstances, even in the most challenging, in the most uncertain circumstances, my first thought is not, I want to off myself. My first thought is how can I now challenge myself to get through this? But I wasn't always there. Okay. Young T, I'm still dealing with you tonight. You said, but it's hard when you let depression run your life. Yes, it can run. It may have run your life, honey, but let me tell you something. You now have the power over it, because the one thing that you did that most people will not do if they want to heal is you have now said, this is my problem. This is the core of my problem. This is what happened to me. I was abused. I was sexually assaulted. I was taken for granted. I was manipulated. I was confused. I had to go through all of these things. Now you have this problem in your hand, and now you have the power to speak to it. That's the beauty about finding the core of the problem. When you figure out the core of the problem, you now have control over it. As long as it's a hidden mystery, you don't have control. But when you can identify what it is that caused the offense, what it is that caused the depression, what it was that caused all of those things, you now have power over it. So you can speak to it and say, you know what? You know what? You hurt me. You hurt me. But guess what? I can now overcome you, because I know that you no longer have power over me. And that's when, young T. Hall, this is when it's appropriate for you to deal with a counselor, to work with someone who is safe, that you can talk to, that you can talk this thing out. Why? Because healing is a process. You've just got the root of the process already done. So I applaud your growth. My aunt said facing it head on. Absolutely. Face it. You got to deal with it. The reason why we talked about secrets, the reason why we talked about all of these other things, all these other topics that we talked about, loneliness, the reason why we talk about these things is because it's so very important that we understand that the power of secrets can kill us. It can kill us. If we don't tell nobody right now that we're dealing with suicidal ideations, that we don't call that hotline, or we don't talk to someone about what it is that we're dealing with, we will definitely listen to the voices in our minds and allow it to control us when it was not really even a permanent situation. It's temporary. Absolutely, sis. The brokenness positions you for your purpose. It positions you for your purpose. Brokenness is necessary. Brokenness. I want to go. I want to go to the Bible real quick for those who believe in God. The Bible says, Jesus says, "This is my body, which was broken for you." Okay, for those who be like, well, that ain't biblical. It can be. Jesus' body was broken, literally, for us. I just wanted to say that for those who may be religious dignitaries and feel like what we're teaching, because you can teach on psychology, you can teach on mental health, you can teach on all these things and still be biblical. Why? Because people in the Bible dealt with this. Shelly says, I stopped smoking cigarettes 25 years ago. I stopped using drugs 27 years ago. But my eating is crazy unhealthy. I pray. I guess I'm not really dealing with the core issue. I wish I knew what it was. Buried so deep, I forgot. I'm going to challenge you to go back to the moment where you felt like eating was the option. Because see, I want to say this too. I was sharing this with a friend a couple weeks ago. That sometimes we overcome addiction by having an addiction. Sometimes in order to get over one addiction, we begin to create a new addiction. I'll use me for an example again. I'm the only person that I can talk about. One of my addictions, and my family knows this, hard body, is cornstarch. It's not good for me. I eat corn. I have eaten cornstarch. Okay. For those who be like, that's terrible, y'all can judge me later. But I just want to share this as a testimony. I used to eat cornstarch hardcore, right? Hard body. And when I stopped eating cornstarch, I started gaming. So instead of eating cornstarch, I'd be on my phone all the time playing games. So it was one addiction that covered up another addiction. So I want you to go to the core of when your self-worth, Shelly, was challenged. And it may take some time. It may take some talking about. I went to therapy for 7 months, and it wasn't until the 5th month that I realized the core of my problem. It may take some time, but start to have those conversations with yourself. Okay. Yes, when you can identify the problem. This is so very powerful. I'm so appreciative of you all supporting one another. That's what we do. Did I catch up on my comments? I didn't caught up on my comments. Shelly, your mom, yep, Argo cornstarch, it's good, but it's not good for your body. And if we're not careful, we'll cover up our addictions. We may not be having promiscuous sex, but we may be smoking weed. Okay, so now that becomes an addiction. That becomes an escape route for us not dealing with the problem. Okay, we may not be smoking weed, but then we may be gaming all the time. We may not be gaming all the time. We may be doing something else, and we're allowing addictions to cover an addiction. We have to deal, and I appreciate that young T. Hall used to drink a lot. Shelly says, I think I'm Shelly, we're gonna talk some more. I'm gonna connect to you. And I want you to keep searching. When you say I'm the problem, I want you to go deeper into that or whatever, because it's so very important that we are able to identify the root cause. And I'm telling you, it may not be tonight. It's not everybody's goal tonight to get to the root cause. I told you it took me 5 months in a 7-month time of working with a therapist to actually figure out what the root of my problem was. I'm not asking you to come up with the root cause tonight. I'm simply asking you to begin the conversations with yourself. But I'm going to challenge folks because the topic tonight that we talked about was suicidality. And so I want to challenge y'all because most of the time when people are suicidal, they have these thoughts in their head. You know, I'm worthless. Let me figure out what I wrote down. I'm not worthy. I'm better off dead. No one loves me. No one will miss me. I can't let people see me like this. I'm not good at anything. Nobody wants me. I was born alone. I will die alone. They were always right. I'm a loser. I'm not smart. I'm not lovable. This is all my fault. I'm a horrible person. You know all those thoughts that we have in our head when we're feeling suicidal? I want to challenge you for every negative thought that comes into your mind that you create yourself 3 positive. I want to challenge everyone. I got this cute little notebook. My job gave this to me. But I want to challenge everyone to go to CVS, Walmart. I don't care where you got to go and get you a notebook. Everybody that's watching this right now, if you came on just now, I want you to do it too. I want to challenge everybody to get a notebook. And if you're dealing with negative thinking, for every negative thought that you have, I want you to create 3 positive thoughts. You want to know why? Because the work that's required for your healing is so very intense. And some of us want to sit around and we want to be healed, but we don't want to do anything to get that healing. We now have to work for it. We now have to do something. I want to counteract the negative thoughts by telling you some positive thoughts. And when I say telling you some positive, that's what you're going to say to yourself. I'm going to counteract these negative thoughts by telling myself some positive thoughts. Jennifer says, I'm my own problem too, which is why I wanted to kill myself and get rid of the problem. There's a deeper, when did you become the problem? When did you become the problem? Is the question. Shelly, Jennifer, when did you become the problem? These are things that we have to ask ourselves because it's so very important that we understand that there's some root reasons why we are who we are and how we show up. All right. So it's 10:04. How are people thinking right now? We got to do the work, Eve. We got to do the work. How are people feeling right now? I know it's about 12 people watching right now, but I want to know how you're feeling because this is so very important. I'm going to ask maybe one question. And then I want to close out, but I want you all to stay connected because I want to ask you all something very, very important before we get off the call. So if you're watching, I'm gonna get off in about 10 or so minutes. But I want to ask you all a very special question at the end, okay? And this is for me, okay? This is something I need you to do for me, okay? So Jennifer says, as a child, my mom told me I was the problem. Young T Hall, that's how I feel every day. No one loves me. Absolutely. So I don't know if you all realize it, but as you talk about these things, what you're doing is you're allowing that stuff to come up. Oh, and this happened to me. Oh, wait, and this happened to me. And wait, this happened to me. After a while, you're going to regurgitate all of the negative stuff. And so at that point is how you are with that plant. When you open it up, now you're able to open it up and allow new stuff to come in. How do you reestablish yourself through your healing process? We'll talk about that maybe next week. I don't know. But that's a very important conversation, okay? We absolutely love you, Young T Hall. I love every one of y'all. I wish I could call you all by name. I love every single person who was on this. And I know people are like, well, you can't love me because you far away. Let me tell you something. My heart is big, okay? And I asked God at a very young age to give me a heart for people that even people wouldn't understand. And I love all of y'all. You want to know why? Because y'all help me get better. I can't just come on here with just anything and expect to have a good segment. I have to get into my study closet. I have to get into my prayer closet. I have to get into a closet where I have to understand what it is that I need to speak to you all today, because it's very important that you all hear a clear message, not just a pure message, but a clear message that will help you to move into the next level. Okay, so for those who are watching, for those who may have family members who may be dealing with suicide, if you have to inbox this message to somebody, I want you to share this message to everybody that has a Facebook. Why? Because they need to hear it. They need to hear this message. They need to hear this message, and it is so very important. Tamika Hall, Young T Hall. So I don't have to call you Young T Hall no more. Tamika. Hi, Tamika. Jennifer said 1 degree wasn't good enough, so I got 7 degrees. So it sounds like you became addicted to success and the feeling of wanting to be successful. We're going to talk about that too. What is success? That is going to be an amazing topic. We're going to be talking about some deep stuff, okay? I really appreciate all of you all who are on. I want to make sure I covered most of the basics, because some of y'all been watching the whole time, and I want to give y'all time to go to bed and do y'all thing or whatever, because that's very important. I want to leave with this, okay? I want to leave you all with a thought. I don't let anybody in. I'm private. I just go to church. I'm friendly. I'm a loner. I still am. I get love from people, but once someone gets close, I shut down. I thank you so much, Robin. But Shelly, I thank you so much for being transparent tonight. You don't even realize how much you are setting yourself up for your own deliverance by just being transparent. I think my sister said it earlier, Tiffany. Transparency is so important. Brokenness requires transparency. And I thank you. I hope people after this video, y'all connect and y'all become accountability partners. This is how we help this is how we reach one. Each one reach one. This is how we do it. Okay? I think I covered all the bases tonight. So if all hearts and minds are clear, we're gonna come on off this video. And I want to let y'all know that suicide impacts, suicidal ideation, suicidal thoughts, it impacts everyone from young to old. I've seen kids as young as 5 years old who want to kill themselves. And I've seen people as old as 80 and 90 years old who want to kill themselves. Young T, I just want you to know that you got help tonight. I want you to go back. If you have to watch this video again, I want you to go back into the comments and I want you to allow this to minister to you. Why? Jennifer, allow it to minister to you. Why? Because you have so much support and help in this one space right now, in this one confined video with 16 viewers. We have enough people right here. You have enough love that can carry you to tonight, to tomorrow, to next year, to 10 years, to a million years from now. So I wanna get ready to close out. But listen, I need something from y'all. Okay. Now I remember we talked about the importance of folks who are suicidal to ask for help, right? I want to give you all this vision. I know that a lot of you all who are watching believe in this Breaking Chains Project vision. Okay, you all believe in this vision, and I asked the other day for folks if folks were blessed by the vision. I wanted to see you. I wanted to acknowledge you or whatever. And I want people right now who are watching this video, I want you to hear my heart, okay? It is our desire for us to go live every day, okay? Hear us. I want us to go live every day. But in order for us to go live every day, folks, we need equipment, okay? So I want to let you all know that I want to impress it upon your heart if it's in your heart. I have started a GoFundMe for $500. That means I want 100 people to donate $5. That's it. I'm not asking for me. If you want to give more, that's perfectly fine. But I want 100 people to give $5. $5. If you have $5, if you got two, that's fine. But I want 100 people to give $5. And that will help us to get the equipment needed to go live every day. I want to go live. When I say every day, I mean Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, I want to go live because you all are being so very blessed and I'm being blessed by this. And I want to be sensitive to the needs of the people. I want us to go live every day. But hear my heart. I need you. If you have been blessed in any way through this movement, after this video, I am going to share the GoFundMe to the Breaking Chains Project page. I'm also going to share it to my page. And I want you all, if you have $5, to donate $5 to this movement. And I promise you, I'll post a receipt. I don't need, I work a job, so I have money to take care of bills and all of those things. But I need you to help me with this Breaking Chains Project movement. For those who don't know, we are a legit nonprofit organization. I have paperwork for my organization, for this organization. And I believe that if we can reach many more if we go live every day. And you all have helped me so much with the sharing. I want folks, if you are able to donate $5. I want 100 people. Even if people who are not connected, if you feel like that the movement is going to benefit them, ask them, look, can you donate to this movement? This is a powerful movement. It's touched me. I know it can touch you. I'm asking you all $5. $5. If you could donate $5. When I share this GoFundMe, I'm going to do my little excerpt and I'm going to let you all know that it's there. But I want you all to, if it's in your heart to do so, to do so. And know that when I'm going to buy a tablet so that I have the access to go live every day. When I get that tablet, you're going to see that receipt. You're going to know that that's where that money went to. Okay? All right, Keita, I'll take the dollar. Thank you. But she's saying that because I always give a dollar I always send them birthday cards and I always give them a dollar. So that's my dollar back. I appreciate that. But for those who can help, I'm simply asking. Now I'm reaching out to you from the heart of a nonprofit organization, from the heart of someone who really is passionate about this movement. Help me to help you. Okay, I really hope that you all were blessed by this movement tonight. I hope that you all were encouraged. I hope that you all leave here feeling better than how you got onto this video. I want to thank everyone who has shared their story, who has shared their testimony, who have just really been engaged the whole time. For those who called on late, for those who are on here right now that was just on here for 2 minutes, I want to say I thank you so very much. Okay, after I log off this video, I'm going to post it and I'm going to share the GoFundMe, and I want you all, if you're able to donate $5. We want to be able to go live by May. Wait, let me pull up my calendar right quick because I don't want to give y'all the wrong date. We want to be able to go live by my calendar acting up, y'all, and I'm on my phone. I don't have, but whatever the first Monday in May is, that's when we want to go live by. And your donations will help us to have the equipment. Y'all see, last week, my computer and my phone went out. That's why I had to move to Saturday. So I want to let you all know that your money will not be wasted. I promise you. I give you my word that every ounce of a dollar that you all give, if you can give $5, if you're able to give $5, every ounce of a dollar that you give will go to the equipment needed to go live every day. I'm really passionate about this, y'all. I want you all to know. I am changing my physical location because of my passion for this work, okay? I love you all. I hope you all have a great night. Share this video. Inbox it to people. Whatever you have to do to get the word out, let them hear this message. I think it was powerful. I'm going to go back and listen to it myself so that I can take it in. But I want to let you all know that I love you. You all, May 1st is the first Monday. So y'all got to help me. We got a few days. Help me to help you, okay? Share the GoFundMe for folks. $5. 100 people, $5. We got it. I definitely want to let you all know that this will go to a good cause, okay? I appreciate all of you all. Share the video, get it out. We need to see by May, I want to see 30 people. By June, I want to see by June, I want to see 40 people. By December, I want to see 1,000 people. Why? Because this message is missing so many folks, and we want to make sure that our technology is up to par, that we can reach people all over this world. You hear me? All over the world. I'm talking about Canada. I'm talking about Africa. I'm talking about India. We want to reach people all over the world. I don't know if you've ever looked at our logo. Right? The Break It Change logo, but our logo has a globe on it, and the globe has the world on it. And we did that on purpose because we believe that this will be a global, this will be an international organization. Hear my heart. Okay? I really appreciate you all. You all are beautiful as always. You take care of yourself. Listen, your assignment this week. Listen, because I don't never leave without giving y'all assignment. Your assignment this week is for every negative thought that you feel. For every negative thought, that you would begin to write down. I want you to write it. Write it down. For every negative thought, I want you to write down 3 positive thoughts. And every morning you wake up, I want you to read those thoughts to yourself. Sis, I thank you for your prophetic words. I believe with you that this is going global. I believe that we are going to reach the masses. I believe that the words are going to be spoken to people that have never even heard about mental health. Why? Because we have the passion to do that. We are so excited. We are so very excited. I love y'all so much. I don't even want to get off this video, but I got to go because I need to eat something and I need to lay down and rest. I want you all to know that we also are doing life skills classes. Life coaching. It's not counseling sessions. So life coaching is a little bit different from counseling and psychotherapy. But we're doing life coaching classes for a very, very, very small fee. You are more than welcome to inbox me for details. I want you all to know that is available to you. Okay? I want you to take care of yourselves. I want you to take care of yourselves. And I want you to also take care of yourself. All right? Y'all stay beautiful, and I'll talk to y'all later.